When uncertainty is our
The way you live your life depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network's speed and strength. Slow means
game over.
but the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means
Game changing.
choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life?
Simple eh? Smart ako.
And we are live once again. Welcome everyone to another episode of Bull by the Horn episode 12. 12, 12, 12. Welcome mga ka-Pinoyliga. Welcome mga ka-Bull by the Horn to another episode of yours truly. Maraming salamat po once again for staying tuned to us on a Saturday evening. I hope that we are now part of your nightly discussion, nightly thing with the family. Again, once again, my name is Benny Benitez. Maraming pong salamat. It's a very special episode for us because we're pivoting to another sport that we will be covering, so to speak. We're into football, and football is close to my heart. There was a time in my life nung ako po'y bata pa, I used to play a lot of football because I used to play goalkeeper for the Sunbeda Red Lions in the NCAA. I used to play for our coach, our good coach, Caris Caslib, and props to him. Maraming pong salamat to that guy. I owe him a lot. So it's another night of discussion, football, and you know what we have? Who we have here right now? We have one of the most popular, if not one of the popular player right now in Philippine football. And to be honest with you, and my honest opinion, he's going to be one of the greatest players of all time when all is said and done. Mr. Stephan Shrock is here with us, and ang bago pong head ng United FC, Mr. Eric Gottschalk. He's going to be with us, and he's going to be taking care of telling us what's new with the United City Football Club. And to be with us as well is si Vince Wico, one of our Pinoy Liga writers, to be with us. And again, it's a very special episode for us as we will be talking football. So without further ado, pasok ko na po yung aking kakampi, yung aking kasangga this night in managing the discussion, Mr. Vince Wico. Hi Vince, how are you?
Good. Um, Looking forward to having a good conversation, a free-flowing conversation with Eric and Stefan, talking football, and especially talking United City Football Club.
Yep. First things first, brother, I'd like to tell you that napakaganda ng iyong headset. Very futuristic. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I love it. So it's something that I'd like to have in the future. Ang ganda-ganda niyan. Again, thank you very much
You're welcome.
for being with us here. So without further ado, maybe we could introduce the
Yeah.
people behind United City Football Club, the former Ceres Football Club. Eric and Shrucky. Gentlemen, welcome to our discussion. First and foremost, I'd like to give the floor to our legendary Stephan Shrock. Brother, could you give our audience a big shout out?
Hello, this is Shocky. Good evening, everyone. Shocky from United City FC. I hope you stay all tuned, even though I'm just tonight in the show, and I hope you're gonna enjoy the next 45 minutes as much as I do.
All right. Shraki, thank you very much again for being with us. First and foremost, it's been a lot of changes for United City. First is that you guys are now United City. So how excited are you for this? What are the changes that you see? What are the good things that you see as you move forward?
Well, there's a couple of things changed. Some stayed the same. First and foremost, the name changed, the ownership, the management. According to what was in the past, also the coaching changed slightly, and it's a very exciting challenge to be part of a newly born, a newly formed club. Uh, Eric gonna explain it further a little bit deeper, but we're gonna approach the game like no one ever did it before, and this made me double exciting for the upcoming years and upcoming months, especially now the PFL is around the corner.
Right, great to hear. Great to hear. Very excited. Me as a fan, very excited to hear that. Eric, I'd like to give you the floor. Maybe you could give your shout outs to our fans from United City. They'd be excited to hear a lot from the management of the club.
Yes. First of all, good evening, Benny and Vince. Thank you for inviting us and thinking of us. And we're always looking forward of talking football on a traditional basketball show, especially when you have NBA finals going on. I mean, that you're finding
Right.
time for talking about football at the same time. That's great. So thank you very much for this. We are looking forward to a great season. I mean, the announcement came today. It's official. The 24th will be the kickoff with the first double header. We have an extra day of rest, so we're going to be ready on the 25th. And it's about time, because I know that the guys, they've been sitting at home in their own little bubbles for several months, and that's not good for a football player. No? A football player wants to be outside and kicking
Yeah.
balls. So we're getting ready
Right.
now.
Exactly. Now let me jumpstart the discussion here, Eric. Maybe I'll throw the question to you, Ceres. It's a big club here in the Philippines. A lot of winning history. It's a big shoes to fill. And given that Negros has been a hub for football, how big is that shoes that you want to fill, and how excited are you that this is something that for your for your marketing agency to come in. What are your thoughts into acquiring this kind of shadow, so to speak?
Well, yes. I mean, Ceres has been the most dominant football team, not only in the Philippines, but also in Southeast Asia. I mean, the team has been extremely successful on the AFC level already, and obviously has been dominating the league for the last few years. It's very unfortunately of what happened, but at the same time, it's also an opportunity. And as you've seen, sometimes when there are challenges, then, opportunities arise, just like with us, as well as with the other new club that's in the league. So this is football will continue, football will go on. When you play professional football, the stress level and the ambition is probably for everybody the same. You would not enter a competition if you don't want to win. And since we've been very fortunate of pretty much retaining a winning troop, a winning group of players from the Ceres team, obviously our ambitions are very high, and they're not only on the domestic level, but also on the AFC level. So it's not added stress, it's not added pressure. We want to make sure that we represent Philippine football well. We want to make sure that we are offering opportunities within Philippine football. But our ambition has been to go out and play football and win the competitions. And so if Ceres showed us how to do it, then United City Football Club is ready to continue.
Right, right. Vince, you have some thoughts and questions, Eric?
Well, just just in in a few words, if you can, what was your thought process going into building this club um, from Ceros to UCFC? What was the thought process like? What what did you initially have in mind?
I was asking myself, looking in the mirror, says, "Are you actually sane? Because you're in the middle of a pandemic and you're trying to do something with
Yeah.
football in the Philippines, where football is the third biggest sport at the moment." So that was the first question: is that what are you crazy of doing this? And that's what a lot of people were saying. But as you know, we've had a 2-year planning. And the Ceres situation is an accelerator of the plans that we're having for football in the Philippines. And that's what we're continuing. So we're seeing this one as an opportunity for football. It doesn't really matter if it has happened during a pandemic. The pandemic is just affecting, the competition format, and, it's throwing us a couple of curveballs here and there in regards to, the number of matches we're playing and officially the AFC competitions cancellation. These are not nice things. But at the end of the day, we've been able to maintain a football club in the league. We're able to have a football season starting very soon. There will be a league winner who is going to represent the Philippines in the AFC competitions. And that's what it's all about. And for us, this was the aim when we started 2 years ago of looking at what can we do in football. And here we are now.
Right, right. Shrocky, maybe I could start the discussion about this upcoming season. This will be a short tournament. It's a bubble. What are your thoughts about this? Because it anything can happen in 6 games. And considering that, this wouldn't be the double round robin that you could have another chance with another team. What are your thoughts now that you're inside the bubble? It's going to be a short tournament, and you having that big target behind you, being the defending champion.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of changes in regards of the format. As I'm concerned, there's gonna be 5 games, then semi-final, final, which makes everything possible. And the league or the winner may be unpredictable for people from the outside, but to me, what happened outside, in and around the bubble, outside of the pitch or the format or the numbers of substitutes does not really matter. True winners, true champions, they go through everything and perform well under pressure. And we've shown and proven our worth to the sport in Southeast Asia, not only in the Philippines. And what happened left and right, I don't really care. For me, what matters is the gold in the end of the tournament, the cup, if you want so. And I have blinkers on, so my eyes are on the
Yep.
prize, and that's
I
what I'm working for.
Yeah, I understand that before you came here, you were playing tournaments in Germany. So how prepared are you for this season?
I'm pretty much prepared. You best believe that. I was very, very fortunate to experience all that prior months to what's happened now in the Philippines. So there, as maybe you know it, there's only allowed 5 in a group training half a pitch, so
Right.
it's quite different. No contact within the players means the setup of training is very, very limited.
Exactly.
And comes nowhere near actual game or actual competition. So I was fortunate enough to get a guessing player permission in Germany. Was training for several clubs there with several clubs. So I had 6 friendly games there. They all went well. I'm in shape. I would say in even better shape than I was last year, considering that others were not so fortunate to have this training resume as I had. So I'm looking forward to perform and to get another trophy to my collection.
Wow, we're looking forward to it. It's just a three-headed monster that you have with Bienve, and and the rest of the team. So we're looking forward to that. There's a lot of, there's a few questions in our question comment box. I think this is something that Eric needs to look at. Eric, there's a question here from Jorex and from the PFL fan page. What are the shortlisted locations for your planned stadium? Because I understand that in your Facebook page there were some posts regarding your big plan about having a stadium. Is that something that you could actually discuss
Of
now?
course,
Is that
yeah. Of
something?
course,
Yeah,
Jorix is
go
going to
ahead.
ask that question. So thank you, Jorix, for all your support. You guys are doing a great job there. Very simple. You take Manila. There's a location north, there's a location south, and there's a location east or is west. I don't know. I cannot say anything at the moment. We have some discussions. Again, this is a plan that we've been put forward for the last 2 years. A lot has to do with the existing infrastructure. A lot has to do with the local government support. We've had obviously a lot of excitement since we announced what we're trying to do with this club. There's been a lot of excitement once we showed them how the stadium could look like. And there's been a lot of criticism in terms of, why do you want to build a stadium? Why you're not just saying that you're going to stay in Negros, and why don't you just continue what you were doing? One of the reasons why football is having an issue is that the clubs are not self-sustainable. And the self-sustainability comes with its house, and that's your stadium. And Schröcki knows this as well. I mean, he just came back from Germany. He's played Bundesliga. He knows how important it is to have your house having 10, 15, 20, 50,000 fans coming in and supporting you. We don't have this infrastructure in the Philippines right now. So looking at any of the current venues that are available, they don't make sense for a football club. Either they're built in the wrong location, that fans don't have access to it, or they don't have the facilities that make it commercially viable. It's not about having an area where we know we're going to bring in 5,000 or 10,000 fans for a home game, but we cannot live off 10,000 fans over a season, because how many home games do we have? Do we have 5, 10, 15 home games? If you fill up the stadium, it's not going to bring in the money to be sustainable. So that means our venue has to be different. We need to have different facilities in order for us to generate income from advertising, from sponsorship, from retail, and from usage of the venue for other activities. So therefore, we have to actively look after facilities and locations that will allow us to put a stadium up that's not only our house, but it also allows us to generate the money that we need for continuing with a professional football club. No. So at this stage, I cannot tell you where we are going to go. Like I said, there's been a lot of speculations, but only the people who are involved in the discussions, they actually know what the plans are. I think we lost Benny a little bit. Vince, maybe you take over.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Stefan, Benny mentioned earlier that you've been physically you've been preparing yourself by playing matches over in Germany. Now you'll be playing in a unique setup here in the Philippines uh, in a bubble setup, which they're also doing over in the States in the NBA, baseball, and American football. The thing with these bubbles is um, with the mental health of professional athletes like yourself. How have you prepared yourself mentally, being away from your family, your kids for the next 2 to 3 months, and as team captain of UCFC, how how are you preparing your teammates for considering it's a short tournament and there's a um, small margin for error, and considering that you guys are the defending champions, what um, mental preparations have you been doing?
The bubble setup is in the occasion for quite long already, so I played with the thought. I put me mentally there already. I'm a fan of visualization. I do see things. I want to see things. I want to feel things before they actually happen. So for me, as you mentioned earlier, I was fortunate to physically work a lot on this side of the sport, but mentally, I'm a total different animal. I promise you. I live off that. My mental strength is my biggest advantage, my biggest plus. So my teammates will gain from it, and I'm ready to help and carry the team throughout the bubble setup and throughout the competition because uh, I rely on my mental strength, and I do feel, I do see things ahead of time, and I know exactly what will happen during this bubble setup. And besides that, uh, football, the 90 minutes we can go out and play and perform will be our 90 minutes of freedom. So we would everything, every frustration, every anger, whatever feeling there is, emotion, we will transform it into a group or bring it into the group and use it to win the title. Nothing else matters. There is no holding hands, no crying, no backing out, no nothing. This is what we signed for, this is what we made for, and this is what we train for day by day. So a bubble setup or not is just, I don't really care. They can put us in the jail or they can put us in the hotel or let us stay at home. As long as we can go out and compete, I'm happy with it.
All right.
Right, that's good to hear. Stefan Shrocky, excited are you that you got young guns? You know, Miggy Clarino, you got Pocholo Bugas, all of these new guys from the UAAP. How excited are you that you got, you got the core 16 guys from the team last season. Now you got new guys in, and then you got your three-headed monster, you, OJ, and then Bienve. How excited are you for that?
Dog, having the young guns with us signing is a very good sign to every young kid out there in the Philippines. Love to play football. You know, the setup is a little bit difficult, the way things run with the UAP and with the scholarships and all that. Most likely not to participate the professional league until they're done with school, which is in the age of 23, 22, 23 years old, which is way too late. So I'm very happy that we have the opportunity to have Mickey doing school and Chulo is with us. He's for me the most exciting um, talent we have right now on the Philippines or in the Philippines. I haven't seen someone with the work ethic and the age and the knowledge and the skill in his age, and training with us will help him taking major steps in his game, and he will go through the roof. I promise you, in the next 4 to 5 years. I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid, but that is what I saw in him, and many do agree with that. He will be the next biggest thing, the next phase of Philippines football.
Wow, great to hear. Speaking about the young guns, I have this question in our comment section from one of my good friend, Attorney Buddy Escalante. He asks, will United City FC be involved in the grassroots program, and what is the short or midterm goal as a club? I want to talk first to Shrocky about this because, you're now part of the coaching team as well, so probably half, maybe 80% of how you think now would probably be playing, but there's that other aspect of that. How involved are you now in the grassroots program, or how will you be involved in that grassroots program for the club?
No, this is things I have to discuss with the management and with Eric, how and when we can set up academies and youth program. As you know, I think under 21 players are just with exemptions allowed to train and practice. So in that case, in that manner, it will take a little bit of time. Or certainly not this season. We were going to start an academy. Am I right, Eric? So
Yes.
so we will discuss that further, and I hope I can be involved in seeing and scouting, developing and practice with young players, because I think I have a lot to share and a lot to give. I've seen, I come full circle. I've seen a lot in 20 years of professional football, and I feel like I can help gaining them knowledge, gaining them the people hope and knowledge for the future.
Yep, that guy, my friend, Attorney Buddy Escalante, his son Lucas Escalante, he's gonna be a great goalkeeper. I tell you, he now plays. He's like 7 years old, but the guy is so good. So no, watch out for that, Eric. Eric, your thoughts about this grassroots program that I'm sure that you have in mind.
Well, first of all, it's part of the club licensing. For us to have a club, we have to have an academy. So that's number one. And the second one again is, I mean, what we said is when we launched the stadium concept, we said the field of dreams, or our field
Right.
of dreams, means we're trying to bring hope and opportunities to the community, and that starts obviously with the young kids. We will have, wherever our club is going to be located, there will be an academy. And we've already reached out to several other academies across the country, of having satellite academies where we're going to have a network of coaches, looking out for talent, and they will then come to the club. It's very, very important. I mean, absolutely. I mean, everything what we do at the moment is for the next generations. Everything what we do as parents is for our kids, and everything what we do in football is for the next generation. And that's what Shrock is doing as well. He's already dedicating so much time to making sure that the next generation is looked after, and that they have similar opportunities than what he had. What he's done with the SEA Games when he did the coaching over there, and all the other activities that he's involved with. So it's a major part of everything that we're doing. Absolutely.
Right. It's just good to hear, because to be perfectly honest, I've seen how football has grown here in the Philippines. Me playing the game 20 years ago with Coach Aris, and we were just when I was training my goalkeeping skills, I was just throwing myself to cases of soft drinks, so that I could do my dive better than anyone. But right now, the training now is so technical. You could see kids doing technical skills over YouTube, and you'll be amazed. So I guess sky's the limit for Philippine football. And I just have to, as a fan, tell Shrocky that, thank you, my friend, for putting our country in the map, for being who you are. Vince, you have some questions for our great friends out here. Let's just try to look also for questions here. There's a good question here from Steven Adina. I think, Eric, you need to answer this. When will your website be launched?
Yeah. Well, the website will go up by the time the season starts. And I tell you very simple why it's not been up. We are not able to have actually images that we can place on the
Sure.
website. So last week, our photographer for the first time went out. He took pictures from the players. I mean, Shrocky wasn't there. Coach Trevor is
Right.
still not there. So it's very hard to put player profiles up and try to get around not using Ceres images. So that was one of the issues. And but the website will be up before the first match comes live.
All right. The question is it going to be hot pink?
Hot
Or...
pink, the website? No. That we need for Mahalika.
So you guys are wearing pink, So, okay. Vince, you have questions for our good friends here?
Uh, Shreki, when are you leaving for the bubble, or are you at the bubble already?
No, actually, we're still outside. We enjoy our freedom, and by the time, I think it's -3 days, -2 days before the competition will actually start, we have to be at the bubble. And prior to that, we will go into a self-isolation for the testings and after the testings. So up to now, we're not in the bubble. I hope, or I think what I've heard is 21st of October, we will be all locked in the bubble. And then from there on, we will compete for the gold.
Right.
All
Good
right.
to hear that. About some questions that we see in the comment section. I think Eric, you might want to answer this. Steven Adina, can we ask about Morgan? Can he make it within the season or maybe next season? Is that something that comfortable in answering now, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, again, there has been a lockdown in the Philippines, so the same with myself. I'm still sitting in Dubai. Our coach is still sitting in Australia. We've still been waiting for the permit for immigration to let us travel over and join the team. That's why we have made a quick addition to the team when Coach Frank came on board.
Right.
That has been discussed within the team. So Shreki was part of that discussion. Some of the players, we got some feedback, and we felt like that it's good to have leadership on the pitch at the moment, if in case that our coach cannot arrive on time. We're committed to the coach. We're looking already at next season. We had these discussions, but we have to be honest. At the moment, it does not look very likely that within the next week that we're going to have all of the permissions in place for him to travel. So with Coach Frank at the helm and with obviously Shreki in a playing assistant position, I think we're in very, very good shape, regardless if our coach can travel over or not. It's very
Right.
unfortunate, but that's not something that we can do. We just need to go on.
Right. Speaking of the coaches, and the coaching changes, Eric, I think we'd like to understand. I'm very curious if in terms of those coaching changes, of course, Coach Risto and the tradition of winning of Ceres has been there. What was the thought process in terms of getting a replacement for Coach? Do you also consider the playing style of the current group that you have, and looking for someone to replace that, or you're trying to look for a new system that that could also replicate the winning tradition of Ceres?
Well, first of all, we inherited a tremendous team from Coach Risto. He had a
Mm.
team that was together for a couple of years.
Right.
So he put players together. He put a playing formation together, and that's what we inherited. So there will be no changes to anything of what happened in the past because the players are still there. And now is not the time to make any changes. We have a team, we have a group of players. They play a certain style. They're used to a certain way of training, and this will continue. And that's why we believe that with this team that was so successful in the beginning of the year on the AFC level, there's no need for any changes. And all the additions that when we were looking at coaches was literally just to make sure that the teams and the players are looked after and taken care of. Because at the end of the day, they know how to play football. They know their style. And that's what we're continuing. Going forward for next year, a lot will obviously
Right.
depend on which players will return. It's a very short season. We're starting now negotiations about what's happening for next year, and then we will see. You've already mentioned earlier that we have a couple young guns on board. Hopefully, we're going to be able to retain them, and then slowly, they will move into the first 11, and then obviously you will have naturally probably some changes within the playing style or within the characters and leadership within the team. But this is something that will develop over the next few seasons. That's not something that we need to be concerned about right now.
Right. Right. For Shrucky, there's a question in the comment section from one of our writers here, Kevin Strada. For Shrucky, how's Coach Frank's familiarity bode well with you and Bienve, knowing that you have worked with him before in 2016? Familiarity, Shrucky.
Well, this was, I think, the biggest part that we choose to go after Coach Trevor could not or cannot maybe probably make it in time. Having someone knowing the squad is in around the football scene in the Philippines, having a very, very good and respectable career behind him and in front of him. So I was actually very, very happy when the management asked me on my thoughts on Coach Frank. I enjoyed pretty much working with him, and it's an absolute pleasure to work with him for the second time. He was there at my first season, at the first ever appearance for the Philippines in an AFC Cup competition. So he knows the game very well. He is a good, very, very good character, which fits in perfectly. You can tell after 3 sessions we had together already. Everyone is happy that he joined from the team, and that's always a good, very good sign.
Right, right, right. For Eric, once again, there's some comments in the comment section telling us, this one, consider Lapu-Lapu City, one branch for our academy. Contact me if it's a produce player like Coach Shrock. But I think the message is that are you considering as well Negros or going to South and really just looking at those types of community, not just the city or the geographic location, but really the football community.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the football strongholds are on the islands. It's not necessarily in Manila. Yes, in Manila is where most of the competitions are happening, where most of the activities are happening. But I think a lot of talent is on the islands, and so we are looking at anybody who would like to work with us, and vice versa. So there's no exception there. And again, we are trying to retain as much of the heritage of Ceres. We are a new club. We're going to do things differently, but it doesn't mean that we're going to forget where we're coming from or why we got where where we are at the moment. And again, so we will have some sort of association, affiliation, presence, also in Negros and some of the other parts. I just cannot say if we're going to have the club there or a stadium there or any of this stuff. No. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Thank you very much, Eric. A few more questions here, and I'm very happy that some of the people from our comment section are just throwing their questions and really excited for the season. Question here: will there be any new reinforcement for the next season's ACL? I think this is again for you, Eric.
Yeah, and again, I mean, let's play this season. We need to see what's going on. It's going to be very competitive. It's going to be a very short season. A lot will have to do how physically ready the teams are, because as Shrucky said earlier, we're only going to have probably 2 days on regular practices, means 11 aside, before the first match. So none of the teams will really be ready for playing a competitive match after only 1 or 2 or 3 days of preparations. We need to get lucky that nobody gets injured, and that doesn't mean that the players are not fit, but a lot of times you get injured because of contact with an opponent. So a lot has to do with that. Once the season is over and we know where we ended up, we can start the planning for next year. Obviously, the goal is to play Champions League. That's why the players are excited. That's why they came back, and hopefully we get there, and then we will see what's going to happen with reinforcement. But as you've seen, I mean, we have a strong team at the moment, and let's see. We will talk about it once the season is over.
Of course, of course. Vince, you have questions for Eric and for Shrucky?
Well, yeah, for the both of them, I'm sure you've seen the rosters of the 5 teams that you'll be competing against. Um, in your opinion, at least on paper, which of these teams can give the team all sorts of challenges on the pitch?
Boss, your call.
My call? No. The question is for you.
Without, I got this question asked a couple of times in the past few weeks. Without overlooking no one, and I have a very, very deep respect for everyone working in and around the PFL, and but I'm not concerned on the other teams. I feel all the other teams have as particular arsenal of weapon where they have to succeed, otherwise they will fail. My team, I feel, have master of adjustments in and off the pitch. We can switch the play, switch the style, switch formations without weaken ourselves in seconds. So I think the key that we were that successful in the past 4 seasons was that we can make the best adjustments and focus on our own strength. And without no respect, I feel the only team that can beat us is ourselves.
Right. And Eric, after the PFL season or PFL tournament, what's next for UCFC?
well, before the season is after the season, after the season is before the season. So we continue. And obviously, we've made announcements. So my focus is already getting ready for what we launched last week. Everything will evolve around the stadium. So the stadium again is absolute key for the future of our club, and it's key for the future of what I believe is what we can achieve within the league. And that's where the big focus is at the moment.
So okay, so the after this season, the next, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the next PFL season starts in February of 2021. Um, so what is the timeline, Eric, for this stadium? How long how long before this is established? How much time are you looking at?
But we don't really know what's happening. I mean, again, we thought that our season will start in August, then it was September, then it is October, and now it's almost November by the time we're actually on the pitch. So we don't know what next season is going to look like. A lot will depend on how many teams we have. So it could be February, it could be March, April, May before the next season for us starts. The same thing is it will depend on our planning on the team side will depend on if we're playing Champions League or Cup, or if we're just going to watch other teams play. So in regards to the stadium, we will probably have by the end of the year, latest by January, we will know where we're going to be. We hope that we're going to be able to break ground sometimes in the second half of 2021. And the construction side and completion is between 12 to 15 months. So our aim is that we will have our stadium ready by the 2022 season. Maybe in the beginning, maybe in the middle, but that's the aim. Again, it's ambitious, but again, it's possible to do. Everything else, in the meantime, we will have a temporary home next season, and that's where the preparations are happening. So, but the stadium it's something that will start in 2021 for us.
All right. Sorry, guys. I went in and out, the new normal, they go in and out. It's an internet thing. It's cool to be, All right. Shraki, I have to go back to you. Thoughts on your opening game against Maharlika, Manila? What are your thoughts about that opening game with Anton and his team?
First of all, much respect to Anton pulling out a professional club on this short notice. Much respect to what he achieved in the couple of years off the pitch. On the pitch, he was never really a challenge to me, but off the pitch, obviously, he can do magic.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play against There's some old Azkal players. There's some guys came across from Kaya. We played against each other with several clubs, so it's going to be an exciting bout, an interesting bout. First game is always kind of way of checking yourself where you stand at the moment. So Maharlika, we welcome that. We embrace the challenge against them, and can't wait to put and finally my shin guards and my football cleats to wear the jersey of United City.
Of course. There's always gonna be the top three, you, Stallions and Kaya, Apart from you guys, who do you think would probably give you a good fight for this upcoming tournament?
They all give their all when they play against us, and it's always the aim in the league. I feel like to beat us, and obviously when you're at the top of the game, and the target is getting bigger and bigger year by year for you to dethrone and everything. But like I said before, I have blinkers on. I just focus on my team, on our thing, of our ambitions, skills, and of our team forming into a family that will win the gold again, and we will do it. And you can call me out if not.
All right, Eric, I am very surprised with some of the questions that we have on the comment section because some of those are business questions. Eric, I'll throw this question to you from a good friend again. Eric, considering your background and as an owner, are there talks with current TV networks to carry the league? As Shraki will attest, Football must be seen 24/7 to get bandwagon fans and or new fans to support the league. I think this is something that the federation and the league should answer. But give us your thoughts.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we want to see football on TV. I mean, you know how important it is to have college basketball and have the PBA shown and have the national team games shown and so on. People will follow, and if sport becomes popular when it's seen on TV, absolutely. Football is already the biggest grassroots sports in the Philippines with almost 2 million players, and we now need to make sure that the professional sport is carried on TV. The PFF and the PFL have done a good job. There's going to be live streaming available again. They have invested into their own camera equipment. They have hired a new head of productions, as we talked earlier already. So there will be much more coverage and footage available. But the league has to be shown on TV on a regular basis, and that's absolutely key. I think that all the parties are working on it. We have done some things internally. We have partnered with a network that's going to shoot some footage on our side. So we're going to produce our own movies and videos and media shows. But again, yes. So having our matches shown on TV, absolutely key for everybody. Not only for sponsors, but also for the fans and for just the awareness of the game.
All right, guys, like what we mentioned before the start of the show, this will come in as a breeze to us, to everyone. It's been 45 minutes already. It's so much fun, and I guess, the guys are just starting to bring in their questions. But, I think that this is the best time for to tell everyone that this might probably be will not be the last for both these fine gentlemen to be with us. I think we'll have more football episodes as we move along with Bull by the Horn and with Pinoyliga. So okay, Shrocky, I'll give the floor to you, and you give your shout outs to our audience, and give them what to expect, and just a shout out to your millions of fans.
The millions of my fans.
Of
Thank you
course.
everyone. Thank you, boss, for having us on the show. It was really a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for the audience, for the guys who tuned in and asked their questions. I hope everybody is satisfied with the way we were able to answer, and the way we're gonna see the future. Stay tuned, stay ready, and stay inspired. Most of all, stay healthy during these times and stay inspired. Every bad thing comes to an end, as well as the good things. So don't lose hope, and God bless.
All right, Eric, thoughts and final words for the team's fans, and what to look forward to.
Yeah, well, great. First of all, thank you for having us on the show. It's great that we're able to talk football and highlight on our club. The big shout out to all the 6 teams that are going to go ahead in the PFL season, because it's been tremendously stressful. The guys are training in a format that they're not used to. They cannot do the things that they want to do. They're keen and eager to play, and they can't. So it's extremely stressful couple of months for everybody. And we're now going to be able to come out and play a season. I think everybody who's in it until now is already a winner. Hopefully, we're going to be the ones lifting the cup and the trophy at the end of the season. But I think everybody who's overcoming these challenges and these stressful times is already a winner. And it's going to make all of the players better going forward. I hope that everybody stays healthy. Very important. We don't need any, regardless of which team it is, any major accidents or injuries. And I hope that we're going to be able to have a good season, going to have a winner at the end of the season. And then in 2021, things are going to go back a little bit to more normal of how we know that football is being played and organized. But
Right.
Again, looking forward to it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Speaking of winners, Eric, thank you for mentioning that. We have a promo in our show. Before the start of the show, I failed to mention that there is what we call a kickstart question of the day, and we will look for a winner for who went ahead and gave us the best question. And to me, the guy that gave the best question is It's this guy. Steven Adina. You won for yourself, my friend, a pack of Kickstart coffee. Congratulations to you. You know, that's what we do here in the show. You know, we send out good coffee. You know, and I'll be sending out a pack of coffee to you, Shrocky, and to you, Eric. Although I might probably have to give this to you when you're here already. Shrocky, my,
Thank
my
you.
my production team, you know, will be sending you over. Will be getting your contact information. Maybe could send you that pack of coffee before you go to Carmona. Again,
Really
guys,
appreciate.
thank you very much for the time, and you know it's really a pleasure to talk about the prime movers of Philippine football. Shraki, again, a big shout out to you, and Eric, thank you very much for putting in the continuity plan for this big tradition called Ceres. Now it's United City Football. Okay, guys, for Mr. Vince Wico, uh, and the rest of let me just put this in. And for the rest of the production crew of Pinoyliga's Bull by the Horn, everyone, thank you very much for sharing your time with us. You know, very, very surprised. There's plenty of questions. You know, there's going to be a part two to this. You know, again, thank you very much and have a great evening, everyone.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigify happiness. Gigify love. Gigify friendship. Gigify dreams. Gigify hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.